In every community, there are unsung heroes, women who have faced unimaginable loss and adversity, yet stand strong as pillars of resilience. This is the story of our widows. The first widow we paid a visit to is located deep in a remote area in Kaduna State, called Cuddington. This area is sparsely populated and mostly occupied by penurious people. She lives in an old house with her 6 children.
Lafiya lau, ya gajiya.
Lafiya kalau mama.
Ya aiki.
To mun gode ma Allah.
Ya iyali fa.
Lafiya kalau mama.
Ya kokari da mu.
To mun gode ma Allah.
Sai godiya.
Sanu mama.
Sannu.
My name is Philomena Yakubu. Yes, my husband is dead. Honestly, ever since he died, life has been difficult. He died when the children were very tender.
Akwai wahala. Wasu sun yi kokari
They were
sun
able to
gama
go through
secondary
secondary
school
school,
ba
but
su
weren't
iya
able
zuwa
to
ta ba
further their
saboda ba
education
hali.
because there was no
Yana za
means
su je
to.
babban makaranta da wahala. Da kyar
We find it
ke
difficult to
samun
eat
abin da
and
za mu
even to
ci
pay out
da
bills.
abin da za mu biya bukata. Mm. Tunda baba ya bar mu,
When he died, I was
muna dan
started
je
farming with the
gona
children
mu
at a
samu mu
small
yi dan
piece of
noma da
land.
yara. To sai nan gaba
Later on, I got a
akwai
job
dan
at a
wuri da
place
nake
where I
dan zuwa
sweep and
shara.
wash bread baking pans,
Muna
and by the
wanke
end of the
gwangwani.
month, I'm
Kuma
paid
ta ya kare
12,000
sa ba
naira
ni
at a
15,000
place very far from my
a
house
wata.
called
Can
Damon.
hain dama ne. Yanzu kudin
Even
moto
the
ma
cost of transportation
ya
is
fi
higher than my
kudin
salary.
aiki.
6
Yara shida.
children.
Sai ba wanda ya
None
je
of my
babban
children
makaranta
were
duka.
able to go to the
Sai
higher
dai in an gama
institution.
secondary
When
school.
they finished secondary school, that's all.
So in yi kasuwancin noma.
I would like to
Saboda noma
venture into
ma
the farming business.
yana da kyau.
Farming is good.
In
If
Allah ya
God
baka
gives you a good
albarkan gona,
harvest, you'll make good
gaskiya za
profit.
ka yi.
I would want to use the
To ina
grant to
so
start up a
in
farm
samu
business.
albarkan nan in yi aikin gona. Zan yi noman shinkafa,
I would want to
zan yi
farm
noman
rice,
masara, zan
maize,
yi
and
noman waken
soybeans.
soya. Allah
If
ya
God
sa na
helps and
samu
I'm
kuɗin
able
da
to
ya kai
get up to
400,000.
100,000
Saboda
naira,
taki yanzu
because now a
godiya mai
bag of
kyau shi ne
fertilizer
50,000.
costs
Ga su
50,000
chemical din
naira,
kuma
and also
suna da
farming
tsada.
chemicals are expensive. 100,000 would be enough.
Gaskiya mutumin nan sai godiya.
The next widow lives in the same locality, but this time, further into it. She lives in an uncompleted building with her 5 children.
Sunana Margaret.
My
Haruna.
name is Margaret Haruna.
Haka ne,
Yes,
baba ya
I am a
rasu.
widow.
So, ya rasu
My
ran
husband
29
died of the
ga
December 29th,
December
2021.
2021. Tun lokacin da baba dai ya bar mu,
Ever since he died,
gaskiya
life
rayuwan
has been
akwai
tough.
matsala, akwai wahala. Saboda baba
Because when
da
he was
yana nan
alive, he was
yana
the one providing
tsoro
for
ya
us.
kawo
I wasn't doing anything.
abinci. To tun da baba ya mutu ni
But
kuma
now
ba
that he is
wai
dead,
na
I'm the
samu
only
abin yi
one
ba
left to cater
da
for the
zai taimake ni
family.
ba. Sai na ga in kuma na fita in na
If
samu
I'm
to
able
za
to
mu
get
samu mu ci, in ban
something,
samu
we
kuma ba
eat.
ranan
But if I'm
to sai
not,
dai mu zauna
we
haka.
sleep without eating anything.
Gaskiya na
I gave
haifi
birth
yara
to a
takwas.
total of 8 children,
Uku
but
sun
3 died,
mutu
and I'm
sun bar
left
mun
with
yara.
5.
Ni ne ina fama yanzu.
I'm
Don
still
ba
the
su
one
samu abin yi
catering
ba,
for
ni ne
them
ina
because they're
kokarin har
not
yanzu.
doing anything
Ina
yet.
samu muna dan ci da su. To, da baba ya rasu sai na dan
When
samu
he
dan abin
died,
yi
I
kaman
started looking for
ina
something to
dan roro
do.
ganye.
I began to pluck leaves
Na
to
roro
sell
ganyen
together
nan
with
shine zan
foodstuffs.
dan zauna
I
in
hawk
gyara,
on the streets.
nemi ko dan gyada da dan kayan miyan haka sai in hada shi. In na hada sai in dauka in sa a kai in kama hanyar titi ina talle. Na je na samu na dan samu
If I'm
kasuwa na
not
dan
able
sayar da
to get
ganyen nan
any leaves to
ko kuma
sell,
awara.
I buy
In ban samu
soybeans
ganye ba
and
sai
make
nemi waken
soybeans
soya
cake to
in dan yi
sell.
awara. In na je
When I
na samu
sell and make a
na
profit,
siyar
we'll be able
sai
to
in
eat.
samu
That
ya
is
dan
how we
abincin da
get
za mu
money
zo mu
to
dan
buy
sa a
food to
tukunya.
eat.
abin da ya sa na ɗan huta kwana biyu saboda
The
jikin ne.
reason I stopped for a while
In na
is
fita
because
duk
when
ran
I
da na
go
dan
out to
samu na
hawk,
je kasuwan
I
nan
have
na
pains
fita yadda
all
ina
over
yawo
my
a titi
body, and because of that,
ranan
I
nan.
don't feel
In rana
comfortable.
ya shiga jikin don jikin ba lafiya sosai. In na dawo ba na samun sauki sai jikin ya tashi. Ko na samu ko sau
That
ɗaya
is why
rana ɗaya na
now
dan
I
je
go to
to ba
hawk
zan iya
only
je kuma ba.
once.
Sai in dawo in zauna. Sai na ji jikin kuma ya dan kwanta. Sai in sake fita kuma. Yanzu
But
ba na
now I
komai.
don't do
Ina
anything.
zama
I
dai
just
saboda
sit at
jikin.
home because of my
Mm.
body.
In har na samu taimako
If I'm able to
wanda
get
zai
help,
taimake ni kam, kasuwa ko in samu
I'll get
dan
a
table
table and start
dan
up a
fara
mini
bude ko
provision shop at
provisions
the front
haka.
of my house,
Ina zama
and
a
also
bakin gida.
selling charcoal and
Ina dan
firewood.
siyarwa in samu ko dan gawayi. Nan zai iya dan taimake ni kuma ya
This will
bani
help me
saukin
and also
wahala
reduce
da
the
jikin.
stress of going to hawk
Dan
around,
zauna
as
a
I'll
wuri
be
daya.
at one place.
Sannan kadan ko da na samu
If I can get 100 or
ko
150,000 naira,
zan fara da
I would
shi
be able to
zai
grow the
daga ni.
business and start helping myself.
Zai daga ni. To Allah ya taimake mu. Allah ya kawo.
The next widow is located at the same locality, Cuddington. Although she lives with her married daughter, life is still very much difficult for her.
Mary Okisua. Yes, I am a widow. My husband is dead. For close to 8 years now. I have 8 children. At the time he died, my children were quite grown. The last child was about 12 years old. Before he died, I was a food seller. I cooked food to sell in a shop. But 2 years after his death, I was diagnosed with a partial stroke. I couldn't do anything anymore. I couldn't walk. I couldn't move my leg or hand. My children have been taking care of me. They took me to the hospital for treatment and checkups. Now I'm better. I can't do any business now except if I could get a grinding engine to grind and make money. I can't do any other thing because of my present condition. 50,000 naira would be enough to start.
Going further into our search, we arrived at a very remote place in Kaduna State, called Nasarawa. This community is densely populated, but with an even more penurious people. Most inhabitants here are not well-to-do, and are mostly striving to have their basic needs met. The first widow we met here is one who has lost her husband for quite a while. She lives in an old shack with 7 children.
My name is
Helen Franklin Ikuremadu.
True.
Yes, I am a widow. My husband died November 15, 2000, for over 24 years now.
Life have not been so
Life
easy.
hasn't been so easy.
Although
Although even
before
when he was
died, know
alive,
that
he wasn't
was
well-to-do. We were feeding
and
from
then
hand to mouth.
scratch to scratch. But
But since
as
his
you
death,
go,
things
the thing
became even
become
more
hard.
difficult for us.
Because even
Because
at the
even
village,
in
we
my
don't have
hometown,
house.
we do not have a
All
house of our
problems all
own.
here
It
and
has
there.
been a perilous
And
time
no
for
help
us.
because
Help wasn't coming
he's the
from
only one that
anywhere.
remained out of his
Because my
mother's
husband was an only child,
womb.
so there were
Only
no
him.
relatives to
They were
help.
two of them.
Since then, it hasn't been easy.
Okay, I say it's just God.
God has been
It's
keeping
just
I
God.
and my
I-
family.
I'm not doing
I'm not into any business at all.
I'm taking care of the
I
children
work as a
in
nanny
one
at a
school
school in the
as a
community,
nanny.
taking care of the children.
I depend on
I
God's
depend
help.
on God's
If
help
my
to
salary,
survive because
it
even the
has
salary
been
is
since
not
that
enough.
time,
It is too
2003.
small. I started working as at
just
2003 until date.
2000
And since
20,
then, it was
I mean,
just recently that my
2021.
salary was increased
They
to
make the thing
10,000 naira.
10,000.
I
I
have
have
7 children, 3 boys and 4 girls.
Because of the
Because my
body
body
is not
isn't
all
that
that
strong
so strong.
anymore.
Yeah.
Yes.
I like to do
I would want to start up a
just
provision
provision
store.
to be in a place. uh,
Alias
150,000
150,000 naira would
for
go
a
a
start.
long way
For a
to
start.
start.
Living in the same community Nasarawa is another widow who has lost her husband since she was 29 years old. She has been a widow for over 48 years. Having 5 children, although they are all grown up, she still finds it very difficult to meet her basic needs.
It's
Mommy.
true that I am a widow for 47 years now.
76.
September. Mommy.
I have
5
5 children,
5
2 boys and 3 girls.
2 boys and 3.
It is not easy.
It hasn't been
It's
easy.
only God.
It has only been God.
If not God,
If not for
I
God,
want to know
I
that.
do not know if I'll even
I'll
be
be
alive
to be
until
alive.
now.
Up to now, with God.
But God helped
Helped
me,
me,
cared for me, and
cares
did
of
everything
us,
for me.
do everything for me because I don't have
Because I
any other
didn't have
person.
anyone.
I run to Him
I only
and I
run to
was
Him
saved.
and I was saved.
That is why I'm still
That
alive
is why
today
I am
with
alive
my
today with my children.
It is not
It
easy
hasn't been easy.
because it's not by my own strength. It's God.
God has been my strength.
My first son stopped at primary school.
My first son
The
stopped
second
school at
one
primary level.
from
The second went to a commercial
commercial
school.
school, and the third one I do secondary school. Others
While the
secondary
rest
school.
of them stopped at secondary
That's only
schools.
where I can be
That was
able
the
to
level I was able to
take
train them
them
to and
to
care
pay
for
for their
them.
school fees, to care for them. Because nobody asks,
Because
nobody
nobody
can
else
even
cared
say,
about us
how
or
are
even
you
reached out to
with
us.
the children? It's
It
only
was
me.
just I.
You say like
When my
my husband
husband
died,
died, his
wanted
brother wanted to
to
take me as his
take me
wife,
as a
but I
wife. I
refused.
refused. So for that,
So for that reason, every
members
of our
the family,
relations cut
they said
ties
to
with
as
me and my
a
children.
brother, as a husband brother, no fit for her. They have nothing to do.
They left us to ourselves.
Everybody on his own. More especially for that 4 years after my husband
4
died,
years
I was
after
in
the
the
death
village.
of my husband, I was in the village.
Farming, helping people to
I was
work.
working on
They
people's
give me work
farmland
in
and
the
I was
farm, I go
paid
and
but
weed
very
grass.
little monies.
They give me food, little money like 2 naira, 3 naira. I came back. It was when I came to Kaduna that
When I moved to
started
Kaduna, I started
to
selling
do
fish.
business on fish. It was when
I stopped because the
everything
upkeep of the
from
children were dependent on the
now,
business.
when they passed
So
my
much that
power.
we began eating from the
So when the
capital.
thing no come, even I did farm
I
work
also
for this
worked as a
Kaduna for
farmer
8
again in
years.
Kaduna for over
During that
8
time of
years.
Syria. So my children say I should
But
stop
my children asked me to
farming
stop because of the crisis in the state as at that time.
Kaduna North were doing. So I stopped it. Then I started doing my
After that, I then
see
started to sell
na for
pap.
Akamu. I did do 'em, my children go carry
When I
go there,
prepared
me,
it,
man go
I and my
carry.
children would go to hawk them on the streets.
The help wey I go need.
The help I'll be
No
needing
be to
now
say
is
make dem
not
dey
for
send
the
money for me
NGO
make
to
I
send
eat.
stipends for me to
The
eat,
help wey I need now is
but to help
find
me start
somewhere
up a small
where I go
business.
stay to do business. As I know my strength, you know that
As I
today
don't have
before.
much strength like
The
I
place
used
where
to
I go stay,
have,
one side,
one that would require me
the
to
morning
be
I
at one
open the shop,
place.
I dey there. When time reach for me to close, I lock it and enter. The business now
I would
is
like
like
to
this
open a
provision
provision
shops.
store.
because I will never be struggling.
Because I won't be
carrying
stressed as I'll be
and
sitting at one
sitting
place.
side.
Thank you so much. I'm very grateful.
Lastly, we got to meet with another widow, still at Nasarawa. She has lost her husband for 3 years now. She lives in an old house with her children.
My name is Cecilia John Onoya.
Cecilia John.
Yes, it's true that my
Since when
husband
daddy
died.
My daddy died in 2021.
20.
I get
8 children plus 1 from my husband,
My
that is a
husband
total of
making
9.
So, since my daddy died,
Since my husband died,
so I thank God where life day. No,
there has
no
been no
helper.
helper.
Because business what I do before.
I was into a business before my husband died, but after his death, I couldn't keep up any longer. There was nothing for me again.
To eat,
To eat was a problem, but God has been merciful.
God. Before daddy died.
Yes, before the death of my husband, I was into business. I sold brooms, oil, and I did any other business I could lay hands on.
And the toucher. Wait. The thing what happened to the business, as the one when they my hand when we don't chop her, nothing, no gamma, no get work.
I was the breadwinner of the family even when my husband was alive.
So
This.
children.
Okay.
My children were attending school at a point, but they couldn't continue anymore. Some are even sick. It has been a battle for me, keeping the family and taking care of my sick, so
Mommy.
I wouldn't want to mention a particular amount. I would be satisfied with whatever I am given.
Mommy.
Thank you and God bless.
With this, we mark the end of our outreach. We would want you to partner with us to help these widows. You can reach out to us via our contact details below.